I don't think so. No.
Okay, we're good.
If you plan on speaking tonight, make sure you sign up in the hall right by the door, okay? If you haven't already.
And then when they come to the podium and you say.
And then when you come up to the podium to speak, make sure you say your name and write your name. No, just say your name and address.
Yeah.
So good evening. It's 7 p.m. on the night of September 16th, 2025. I want to call the LaGrange County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Krista, can we have a roll call, please?
Lynn,
Here.
David.
Here.
Jerry,
Here.
Nick,
Here.
and Tyler.
Here.
We have a motion, a second to approve the agenda as presented.
So move. Second.
Motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. September minutes approved. Motion and a second to approve the minutes of August.
Motion to approve. I'll second it.
We have motion and a second to approve the August meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. August meeting minutes approved. Any communications?
No.
All right, welcome to LaGrange County Board of Zoning Appeals. This is a 5-member board, all of whom reside within LaGrange County. Let it be known that as a petitioner, you are requesting a variance to build and/or operate outside the ordinance of LaGrange County. It is the sole responsibility of the members of this board to make a decision on whether or not a variance shall be granted. So how this meeting works is the petitioner has 15 minutes to explain what they are trying to accomplish to be given a variance. After that, the remonstrator will also have 15, if there is any, they have 15 minutes to voice their concerns. And then the petitioner will then have 5 minutes to try and answer any comments or concerns brought up by the remonstrators. Also, while you're speaking or presenting, make sure you are addressing the board and not anybody else out in the audience. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Perfect. New business.
First one on the agenda tonight is for Ronald and Jane Kaufman. It's Greenfield Township, Section 28, Township 38 North, Range 11 East. It's Zone A1. It's located at 8415 East State Road 120, Howe. They're asking for a developmental variance to split off 1.03 acres where a minimum of 2 to 5 acres is required in the A1 zoning district. This is what they're proposing to split off. Some existing buildings with the farm. Do I have a representative here? Can you come up to the podium, please?
Good evening. I'm Robert Mishler. My personal address is 0140 South, 500 East, LaGrange, Indiana. So I'm here to represent Ron and Jane on the first one here. They bought the whole parcel property there, and they're asking to, you can see where the line is, and keep the pole barn that's there. And then they took the old barn down, and that's going to just allow the pivot to go around. He owns the ground all around it, and it'll make ease of watering more beneficial. And basically it's taking unproductive land, making it productive again. And then they eventually want to sell it. They don't want to rent it. They'd like to sell it, make an economical purchase for somebody to live. Nice little house.
Anything else?
It's pretty cut and dried. It's been surveyed. I guess you know that already, but he's going to retain that pole barn for his own use for his equipment. So.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? We'll close the public hearing. Can you scroll through? Do you have any other? Yeah.
There you
Okay.
So the barn to the north has been removed.
Yep.
already.
go. Right.
So this is their planning to cut off here to keep this barn with farm ground.
What it looks like to me, it looks like the pivot's able to go around with the markings in the ground there.
Okay. It does. So that's an end tower on there, And with the barn and everything going, they're gonna move that wire. The wire's in the ground. That's what the end tower follows or travels around. So it's gonna make it so the pivot can now come around, swing and cover all this on this side. I mean, obviously not the green patch, but like what's brown up there above the line. Because right now, without seeing it, the end tower, what am I trying to say here? The end of the pivot that moves, I'm blank right now, but right now it's tucked in. When it goes past there, it'll allow it to open up and cover more acres. Corner arm, that's what I was trying to say, corner arm.
There was a discussion of sweet corn and how it affects the field corn that's being grown in that field. What was that included for?
So it's gonna, in the deed, he wants to put that no sweet corn can be grown on this property, because if you grow seed corn or sweet corn.
Oh, I know the genetics.
Okay.
already. Yeah, I know that. Okay.
But that's why, because
That's why.
yeah.
Okay. So then why not just take it all out and make sure there's no sweet corn grown there at all?
me knock the house down and
Knock the
everything.
house down, take it all out. Trees, house, then you can farm it the way you want to farm it.
I don't think that, I mean, financially, I don't think that makes good sense, to be honest.
Who's going to police no sweet corn?
Well, it'd be in the deed. We've done that. We've sold properties like that before and,
Can't really
and haven't had any
enforce
issues.
it. I mean,
What's that?
who enforces that?
Well, if it's in the deed, it follows the land,
Well, theoretically, yeah, I get that, but
right?
Theoretically, yeah, theoretically. Okay.
How many acres would it be if you kept the barn in the parcel? Would it meet the 2?
No, not included.
It's not on this one. No, it wouldn't.
This can be split, right, Robbie? It's a parent parcel. It can be split.
This parcel can be, split.
Okay.
Right.
The blue outline is the parcel that's there now.
How big is it?
I don't have that.
Hmm.
You know how big that parcel was before you tried to split it, Robert?
I'd have to look it up.
Beacon says 1.83.
Yeah, it's just under, I was gonna say under 2 acres, so,
So it's already under what it should be.
right.
This would be considered a parent parcel because it was created before we changed zoning.
Mhm.
So this 1.83 acres is a legal non-conforming parcel.
Yes.
And it's gonna put a few not acres, but more, it's gonna add more ground into production, and that's the whole reason for the new zoning. And it's gonna add a house that's gonna be more economical, which is in dire need in LaGrange County, that's available for sale.
The idea, when we were developing the ordinance, the idea of the 2 acre minimum was to minimize the amount of houses built on farm ground. This house is already standing on farm ground. The idea of encompassing the north part of the property within the farm ground would prohibit any further subdivision, and the house would remain usable for a single-use family. And then because it is in an A1 zone, the A1 restrictions would continue to have effect on the existing house as a new parcel. Kind of a backwards way of looking at it from the way we designed the ordinance to prohibit houses being built on as much farm ground as possible. And And this would create more farm ground. It's kind of a backwards way of looking at it. It's kind of interesting, some of the things we've seen come up against the new ordinance in the few months that it's been intact.
Well, Steve Engelking told me when they originally made 1 acre parcels for in ag ground, it was to preserve farm ground, but we looked at it differently doing the ordinance this time. Since a petitioner owns all this ground around here, I don't see any reason for it not to be 2 acres.
Is Mr. Kaufman here?
No.
Why would that be?
They had a trip planned out west. So but then that's kind of defeating what we're trying to do with our new ordinance, then, isn't it?
Well, you
If we
don't
take-
irrigate this corner anyway up here, do you? Do you irrigate this
It's-
corner?
No, but it's still farmed.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this is adding to the production and enhancing what is already in production. And that's kind of our goal with that, with the zoning. I mean, I told Ron, I didn't think it was gonna be an issue because it's, number one, it's taking care of an old barn that's an eyesore. It's adding to the production land and enhancing what's there to farm now and providing a fairly starter base priced home.
Is that part of the ordinance that the petitioner is supposed to be here?
The new ordinance does not state that. We had stated it in the bylaws. So if you want to hear from the owner, you have to table it until the meeting. Or if you want to hear from the owner, not the owner.
The well and septic is all on the parcel that you're
Yes.
cutting off?
Yes.
It's always nice to have the petitioner hear themselves.
Hmm.
Not sure you guys' thoughts on that.
Oh, I always like him here.
What, I mean, you want me to call him?
No.
Does that barn have power?
What's that?
Does that barn have power that's still standing?
It's currently going through the house, but eventually it won't. They'll disconnect all that. In fact, they may have done it already when they took the other barn down.
Curious why they have an easement back to that barn when they own every lot, or all the land around there. I'm curious why they did that easement.
I don't even know. Is that a 50 there? 'Cause it
Just
doesn't-
down the road. I mean, that could
that's
be
not
gotten
50,
rid of, I
yeah.
imagine, because he can make his easement on the other side if that would make it better.
So there isn't.
It's just showing a drive.
That
No.
blue from the red.
So the parcel that, well, he's leaving an easement on the right side of that parcel there, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
Here,
Yeah.
to get back to. it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, it's
Does he
not,
have to have one if he owns the property on all
it's-
sides?
I don't think it's an easement.
Well, whatever it is, it's a little strip of land there.
Right. The boundary line is the red.
Mhm.
They're just a gap from, the blue line is what the old property boundary used
Right.
to be.
Why is that gap?
Why is it?
Why is it there?
They narrowed the
The-
property up.
Just
The
when
old
they,
property was wider than.
when they skinnied it
No.
up,
So as a
It's-
developer, that looks like somebody's gonna build a house in the back.
I don't think you can.
I don't know. I'm just, that's
I mean,
what.
who's gonna allow him to do that? You guys wouldn't, right?
Well, it's
I mean,
not-
according to the
it's big
zone.
enough.
Correct. It's not.
Well, I guess he owns all the land around it, so maybe he could.
Right.
But then that's, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't think that's a
Okay.
concern.
Thoughts on having Mr. and Mrs. Kaufman here? You want to proceed?
What do you want to hear from them?
I'm fine with going today, but To me, it shows it's not important to them. That's what it tells me. But it was important to him, especially since he's got two. Just-
I understand what what the point that you made with keeping it reasonable for a young family to own their home. Not having a garage or, they're going to want to build something there.
There'd be room there to put a garage.
Just on the north side of the house there. I don't know. I guess time will tell.
Will that be placed for sale or will that be auction?
Probably just put it up for sale.
Okay. And then if an Amish couple buys that, then we have large animals on 1 acre ground.
If that would happen, but I don't think they'll buy it. I really don't. Honestly, I don't.
I'd say 50-50.
It's just under an acre, right?
1.03.
Just a hair over, acre and a quarter.
Oh, yeah, just over it.
And really, as far as Ron not being here, even if he was here, he would rather not be up here talking. But
But yeah, I get that, but
I get your point.
we'd like to have specific questions to
Right.
the landowner at times. It also
It-
just shows that it's important to them, to me.
And even if you'd want to say that no buildings can be built back there or no house can be residential, I don't think that's an issue at all. I know it's not an issue.
So when I first saw it, my knee-jerk reaction, it just didn't sit right with me. And the reason why is it's pretty much perfect the way it is. It's got a pole barn and it's set up right. And so knowing real estate, the little bit that I do, that parcel as it is, would sell pretty good. And then they could take the extra money that it gives them and go build that barn somewhere else. It wouldn't change their pivot problem. But as far as the real estate, it would work out. Because it's kind of perfect the way it is.
But then you're raising that price point
Right,
considerably.
right. Yeah, it would take it to that second home buy or
Right.
something like that, yeah. You're right, I understand that. But there are a bunch of those people that need houses too.
Ready for a vote?
Sure.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Lynn,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Jerry,
yes,
David,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. David,
Yes.
Jerry,
no,
Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Lynn.
No.
Application's been approved.
Thank you.
So the second one on the agenda tonight is also for Kaufman, we're in Greenfield Township, section 33, township 38 north, range 11 east, it's zone A1. It's located at 4635 north, 800 Powell, a developmental variance to split off 1.5 acres where a minimum of 2 to 5 acres is required in the A1 zoning district. Here's what they're proposing to split off. Again,
Okay. So this is also Ron James. They also own the ground all around this farm or this set of buildings. And so what they're proposing to do is take this 1.5 acres out of the middle, retain possession of the barns on that side, and then take the rest of that old pasture out and make that part of the tillable ground around it. So, and this one again is, so this old pasture here, it's been hay the last couple of years that I think Chad's been making it. But anyways, it'll allow the pivot to swing clear across. They're going to take all the fences out if it's not done already, and just make it more useful for the pivot that's out there with the corner arm, and then retain the buildings for just storage of equipment. So there again, I mean, it's 1.5 acres. This one's got a big yard on it. Another, I mean, same reason as the other one. I mean, this is going to be a place that somebody's going to be able to buy for $250,000. So, you know, it's a starter home, which it's odd to say the starter home anymore is $250,000, but that's the reality that we live in now. So, but this has been in pasture, and they may have made hay. I can't remember what was out there, but so that's going to be all taken out and put back into seed corn or crop ground production.
Anything else? Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? Close the public hearing. What you got, Jerry?
Man, so could it, how, on the length of this property, adding another 1/2 acre to get to that 2 acre parcel, how wide would it take? How much would you add to it?
Well, it'd be all, but I think I measured out. I think like you see the different colored green on the east side or on the right-hand side of the red line. It'd be about all that if you went that
So-
way.
If that's 1.5 acres, so if you cut that in thirds and add that third on the south side of it, then you'd have a 2 acre parcel. And then you wouldn't be here for a variance. And it would be, yeah, I don't know, you would give up a 1/2 acre of farm ground.
I agree. 1.5 acres, 1/2 acre, yeah. It's not a lot of ground.
Or just extend the red out a little bit more.
Or just a little deeper, you can see where the
Yeah.
old fence is out there.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it hard is the third question that we ask is like, I can't say yes to that, like, cause it's a no, like, so that's the thing that sucks about this.
Well, it definitely don't want to go this way.
Right, no,
To
don't
the-
want to
to
go
the east.
east, yeah,
Right.
cause that's where the pivot's gonna swing through.
Right.
But that's why I'm saying, drop that south, a third of that parcel is what, I don't know how wide that parcel is, but
It adds up to be more than what you think, but
about
yeah,
30 feet.
I'd have to measure it probably something, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
Cause it's 4, I think, was it 4 something?
47.
no, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's 161 wide, right?
Yeah.
So it's about 50 feet,
Yeah.
55 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just trying to retain as much ground with his
Yeah.
farm around it
Yeah.
as possible.
First one made a little more sense than this one does to me.
This is a rough one.
Mhm.
You know where I'm
Anything?
going on this one. Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, you know.
Anything else? I guess let's have a vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Jerry,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes,
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Lynn,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
No.
Jerry,
No.
David,
No.
Lynn.
No.
This petition has failed.
So what do I need to do then? Add to the south?
So we have to meet the minimum of 2 acres to be able to subdivide it off.
Okay.
Are you ready to move on?
We're ready.
Next on the agenda is for Scott Maddox. We're in Johnson Township, section 32, township 26 north, range 10 east, it's zone L1. It's located at 7280 south, 180 east Wolfville. They're asking for a developmental variance for an 18-foot channel setback where 30 is required for a residential addition in the L1 zoning district. Oops. This is what they're proposing. The existing lot. The addition. Oops. Can you have your name and your address for the record?
Doug Eby Construction, 8326 Fritz Road, Fort Wayne, 46818. Soon to be a full-time Wokeville residence.
Just explain what you want to do there, Doug.
Okay, we're asking for a channel side setback. They want to add on to the side of the house there, which will become a bathroom and a closet area and a storage room or a fitness room. Then if this is granted and we can proceed with this, it'll be their full-time resident also. So it will not be just a summer cottage. The front side of that setback, or right now, we're 21.6 off of the seawall. But the survey shows that jog in the seawall. But if you look at the overhead actual picture of it, that seawall is straight. So it's actually 21.6 at both ends, even though according to the survey, we're asking for an 18-foot. And then there's also 2 big trees in their side yard there, which from the aerial view again, it shows that room addition tucks right in between those trees. So it really, I mean, it does not obstruct anybody's view of the water or the lake. And then we meet all the setbacks everywhere else. And we also meet the lot coverage restrictions. So we feel that this addition will only enhance their home and it doesn't harm anybody else's view or anybody else's use of the lake. And once again, their goal is to live here full time. And then also, I walked that channel too, both sides of that channel. There's only one house that's 30 feet off the water. There is one that's 18 feet off the water. I guess I'm not going to explain how far every one of them are, but there is only one house and it's on the opposite side of the channel that's 30 feet off the water. And other than that, we're asking for the setback so we can make this a year-round home.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? Close the public hearing. I will say that survey does look odd along the channel as a whole.
there consideration of putting the addition to the north behind the garage?
Well, yes, we considered that, but their bedroom is in the front corner of the house now. So that's why they want to access the new bathroom from there and the closet also from their existing bedroom.
Tyler, you're quiet tonight.
What's that make the total width of the house?
With the garage?
Just the house.
40'3", so it'll be 52'3".
And how small a house can you build on a lot, Robbie?
1,000 square feet.
1,000 square feet?
How big is that addition?
Looks like it's 12 by 40.
12 by 40.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
When they originally had this laid out, they wanted to go 16 feet out, and I highly recommended that was too far. It probably would not be approved. So we scaled it back to 12 feet, which we feel is about minimal for what they want to do. But and then with the offset and the seawall, that I lose 3.5 feet there too, which really isn't there. I don't know how, but I know that's what we have to go by.
So right there where the L45 is, right in that corner, and I know you'd have to move the electric and the gas and all that stuff, it's a pain. But if you let's say you did move something into there, and let's say make it 16-foot wide, and however deep you need to put the master over there with the closet and everything that they need, and then use the existing master for the workout room. That would avoid the variance, right? It would stay, that'd be far enough off the channel to not have to have a variance. And it would still, I mean, it may not be exactly what they have in mind, but it may work.
Right. Well, right now they obviously have a view of the lake from their master bedroom.
Okay, so there, okay.
That's the whole reason it's in the front corner to start
Gotcha.
with.
Okay, I had not considered that.
Could we see the overhead, Robbie, just to see where those trees are? I do remember the trees. One was,
They just clear them, like by 6 feet maybe on the north
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, the room tucks inside of the trees, and the trees would actually impede someone's view more than
That-
what the addition would.
front one's got a big limb that goes over the house. I don't know about that. Just from a safety point of view.
That's an insurance problem.
Having had a tree fall on my house, I guess it is an insurance problem.
How concerned are we with the view of the neighbors? They're living on a channel, they're not living on the lake, right? So,
Yeah.
a view of the lake is a bonus.
There is an empty lot too, so the first house behind them still has a very good view of the lake. Their view will actually be
Right.
enhanced when we remove that shed too. They'll be able to see the lake out the other direction.
Oh, the shed's gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't tell from the plan.
Did I see something else going to get built there?
New building.
Okay.
That'll be good improvement to the property. No problem with the 50%, Robbie? Okay.
And that was
The two.
a parcel to the north.
Okay.
And this is where that, not stormwater. Erosion control is going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
We got somebody to take care of that now, don't we?
We do stormwater management, erosion control on all properties.
Good.
all ones.
Anything else?
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Jerry?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Lynn?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Tyler?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
And Lynn?
Yes.
Your petition's been approved.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So the next one on the agenda is Kloppenstein Farms LLC. It's by John Kloppenstein. We're in Lima Township, section 85, township 38 north, range 9 east. It's zone A2, 480 south, 1545 west, 450 north. How? It's a land use variance for a tiny home short-term rental community in the A1, A2 zoning district. This is their proposal. Over here, the dark, the green area. What they're proposing. Where's your name and address?
John Kloppenstein, 0755 West, 400 North. How?
Tell the board what you'd like to do.
We'd like to take that green colored area there and put several tiny houses or tiny cabins in there for short-term stays for people. Just so we can, or so they can enjoy the country living like most people do in this county. City folks don't have that. We're just trying to make it more tourist. You know, where we live right next to Shipshewana, there's not enough places for people to stay anyways, except for hotels and we just figured it would be a good opportunity for people to come experience the country.
Anything else you want to add, or anybody else?
Just the border on would it be the right or left side to me, that would be, everything would be bordered off by a wood fence, and then we would also put in landscaping, trees. Each individual cabin would have their own their own area. They would be partitioned off, landscaped appropriately, fire pit, grill. We'd have a common area down where the inside of the pond is, that everybody can go down there, be a bigger fire pit there, and a kind of a shelter there, just to be able to sit by the pond. You know, it would be a catch and release pond also, that, you know, people, you know, family oriented people would bring their kids that don't have an opportunity to catch fish or anything like that. They could go there and catch and release fish. Just enjoy the sunset and the sunrise in the mornings. It's a very quaint piece of property. Right now it's hay, which it doesn't get watered. So when we don't have any rain, the farmers know there's no hay there to make. So it would be a better use of that little few acres of land. It's hard to farm around too with, you know. So, and everything else on the right side from the pond over is irrigated, and the stuff, and on the south side of the property line there, all that's irrigated also. So that's the only piece that's not irrigated in that field. We had soil borings done already. So I believe those, and the septic would be up by the road there, where right off the road, and the driveway, in between the driveway and the property line to the left there, the septic would be run through there. The well would be towards the middle of the property. Everybody would be on a community well,
And then we would have everybody on a grinder system to go to the septic. Noise factor, there would be in our contract that people will not, we're after a family setting. People that want to come enjoy the country life and not out there to party. We're not looking for partiers or, we're not proposing it we're after the older folks that want to just come and relax. Younger people too can come and relax, but we're just trying to make it a rural setting. As far as traffic on the road, if we have up to 9s what we can put in there, you're not going to have any more traffic than a normal day of coming up and down the road for people. So it's only going to be during the summertime for, say April to October. And electric will be all on one site for the electric, so that we would take care of all that. That would be fixed in with the cost of the rentals. I guess that's about all we have to offer on that, unless you guys have any questions.
We probably will here in a second.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight?
Okay.
Ashai Kloffenstein, 1745 West, 639 North, Howe. I am obviously the daughter, and this is a chance for me to invest in my family farm to stay around here. With it being right there, obviously my dad said it was hay. Doesn't make a whole lot of hay. We made maybe 2 or 3 cuttings this year. Didn't get a whole lot, but also with Shipshawana being 7 miles away, we have about 2 million tourists that come to Shipshe every single year. And I think it's just a really smart business idea, especially for those farmers who are trying to make a living farming around here, to pull from the Shipshe tourism their way. And this is a good idea for us. Like we said, it doesn't really generate a whole lot of income through farming. And I would personally have investment in this for me. And I'm going to be the 4th generation to take over this family farm. And it would just kind of help economically boost us. So that's what I have to say.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight?
I have 3.
Against?
Yeah.
Okay.
First one is Mark Suver. He says that him and his wife both disagree. The second one is William and Phyllis Troyer. I'm going to try to just break this one down. Says this will be right in our backyard. We hear twin mills, music, people shouting half a mile across the fields. We love our neighbors, but this act is not what we had in mind. They should put it by their home, then they could take better care of it. And third one is Miss Laura Camp. She's saying this has a negative impact on her property, which shares a property line with the project. It includes the prospect of lowering the value of the property due to the possibility of poor maintenance, inappropriate behavior, trespassing, and serious concerns regarding the community's actual safety of design and construction. Who will be the residents, patrons of the tiny homes? Will there be restrictions regarding who will be able to rent a tiny home? What will the setback of the privacy be from the property lines, the shared property lines? And will Kloppensteins be held responsible for any crop and or land damage that she may incur?
She's a half mile away.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak or remonstrate against this petition? You stand up. You can come to the podium. Miss, if you guys want to have a seat, please.
I'm Mark Seaver. I'm here with my wife Robin tonight. So Mark and Robin Seaver, we live at 4455 North, 150 West, Howe. And we moved to our residence in May of 1992, 33 years ago. I'm opposed to this land use variance. Since this, I have 5 reasons. I'm just going to read this so I don't get off point. Since this area was first settled by pioneers in the 1800s, it's always, and still is today, primarily agricultural. When we received notification a few years ago of John's hog confinement facility, we didn't object to that because it's a farming community. My thoughts were, personally, it's a half mile south of me. The winds predominantly are the west. It's not going to affect me that much. Somebody else may complain about it, but I'm not going to squawk about a hog barn while I live in the country. But since that time, I've realized that we still smell hogs about half the time. But what is particularly offensive is when the manure pits are emptied out and sprayed right on top of the ground. And that stench lasts for days on end. And if that was knifed in, that smell would be greatly reduced. So this lack of consideration for neighbors, especially when they have laundry out, windows open, is one of the things that concern us in this proposed land use variance. And if we would have known this about the hog barn and the manure, we would probably voiced our opposition back then. So we have concerns. The second concern that we have is for our property values. And I see no evidence from their other properties that this proposed tiny house short-term rental resort is going to be maintained. And I base this on the fact they have a burned out mobile home just south of me that's been uninhabited for 15 years, and most likely it never will be, but there it sits. Across the road from it is 5 acres and an old house and a couple of outbuildings that John inherited when the former owner passed away. They too are just falling down and left to decay, further depreciating home values. Another mobile home has sat empty for years with no upkeep whatsoever. And John's own 2 farms sadly have deteriorated since he purchased them from Amish men several years ago. And so this doesn't give me any confidence that this tiny home short-term rental place will not become a shanty town in a few short years. The third concern is for increased risk of property damage. Again, short-term rental transients will likely pose an increased threat of vandalism, theft, and bodily harm. We often may leave personal property out. Our homes are never locked. We never lock our homes. I know that may sound absurd to people in this room, but in 33 years, we very rarely lock our homes. And we live in peace and safety among our neighbors, and we've never had any problems. Now, transients would likely see that as an easy target. So that's a concern. My fourth and potentially greatest concern is public safety. There's an Amish school less than half a mile away, right on the same road from the proposed site variance. And there are children riding their bikes, walking to school, sometimes in their pony wagons, both going to school in the morning, then back home in the afternoon. Now, locals are accustomed to these children. We watch out for them. We can see when kids aren't paying attention, sometimes ponies veer out. A transient person from not from this area is not going to be accustomed to that. And so the risk of a car hitting a child on a school route is going to be increased. Not only that, but perhaps an even greater risk for children's safety is a dark threat. There's no state in America, including Indiana, where a sex offender is required to disclose that status when booking or checking into a hotel or short-term rental. And these short-term rental tiny homes will provide the ideal cover for a child predator to prey not just upon school children walking or riding past twice a day, but also provide a lurking place to prey upon any children in our community. There's absolutely no way to screen these people from coming to a pedophile's hunting ground. It would be an open invitation with a school less than half a mile away. You might ask, well, what are the chances of that happening? Well, don't think for a minute that predators aren't searching. They're looking for hunting ground. And that's good reason why laws exist prohibiting sex offenders from being anywhere near playgrounds. And this land use variance offers no such protection to our children. You cannot screen people. You cannot ask them. They don't have to disclose it, whether they're a sex offender, registered or otherwise. And so you would know. My fifth and last concern is for how this invades the privacy of our neighborhood, especially our neighbors, William and Phyllis Troyer. John just sold William Troyer 2 acres upon which they're building their retirement home. After the purchase was made, nothing said beforehand, but after the purchase, we all received this letter, including William, that this is going to go right next door to them. This was not disclosed to them until after they purchased their home site from John. This intentional failure to disclose this plan before the Troyers purchased their building site is inconsiderable at the very least. It's unethical. In some states, perhaps there may be even laws against it. It's certainly very unneighborly and definitely not a Christian thing to do. Jesus taught that we are to love our neighbors ourselves. And whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye also unto them. I'm quite sure John and Erica would not appreciate if someone did this to them. This is more repugnant than 10 hog barns would be. A tiny home, short-term rental complex with transients just on the other side of an 8-foot wall is a far cry from the pastoral setting of a quiet pond surrounded by alfalfa, soybeans, and a gentle breeze while children play at Grandma and Grandpa's house. This proposal is a giant invasion of privacy and a huge child endangerment risk. See?
Anybody else want to remonstrate against this petition? You guys have 5 minutes to answer anything that was brought up.
Rob Yoder, 6155 North, 775 West Shipshewana. Just a couple things in comment to that. I think the intent is they're looking, those comments I think were directed at more or less long-term rental. The way I understood that, these are for more, say, the tourism that was spoke about that comes into Shipshewana, LaGrange area, which is heavily tourism. A lot of people come in, they are looking for short-term stays versus staying at the hotel one night for the weekend, go to a show, they're leaving. It's not for monthly, yearly rental. Not saying that it couldn't turn into that. If it would, that's when you do background checks and you look through the contract and you investigate the people before you put in a rental. I've had rentals. That's what you do. And you can dig some of that stuff up. But again, these are the setting. It's farm ground, a 20 acre and a 90 acre parcel. Combined, we're taking a chunk of that up here. It's a very nice setting, tranquil setting for someone to come and spend a night and then off they go again. There's numerous places you just can't police every issue, every house, every rental. It's next to impossible. Long-term housing, long-term rentals, you can do that more. And I agree, there's people out there that will, that they're out there and you have to be aware of that. But again, I think the overall goal is to use this. Again, it's not really usable for say light sandy ground farmable. It's a more profitable situation to give them an opportunity to put some tiny homes. These cabins, it's a cabin type home. It's not intended to be someone staying there for months on end. So that's my input at this point. I do want to say one thing, and we will be working along, and they're taking all the proper guidelines to work through all the safety aspects of the travel, entrance, setbacks, the things that go along with the planning of the development, of the positioning of the home, setting it up, so the spacing, so they're not all pounded right up on top of one another, they're spread out. But they are looking for the safety and accessibility of the overall parcel as far as the roadway and spacing.
As far as a couple things, as in the hog barn was brought up, when we decided to put a barn up, we had enough property there to put the barn in the middle of the property, which we did, which affected nobody else around us, as in variances, permissions, or anything like that. The second thing is the manure. When we do manure off of that hog barn there, it's always knifed in. That's the way they do it. They drag a hose, they knife it in. So that's the way that happens. As far as having transient people, we're not into, we're, like I said, we're after the tourist end of the deal. Thousands of people come there looking for places to stay. They have shows every other day over there now they've allowed alcohol into the system over there, and, people need places to stay so, and I don't want them driving, particularly if after they've been drinking, but, people do, driving 5 miles or 50 miles, they do, but so, and we're not, like I said, we're not after transient people. So, and other than that, I mean, we take care of our property, we live there. We don't do things that harm other people.
Erica Kloppenstein, 0755 West, 400 North in Howe. There are hotels near elementary schools in Shipshewana as well. And as far as that, I'm not sure. I understand the point, but I'm not sure that it is specific to us and what we're trying to do, that this is somehow endangering children any more than a hotel. And also, we're trying to diversify in farming, and some of the conditions of the farm that he stated are also inherited. John's dad passed away a couple years ago. We're trying to make changes and improvements and diversify so that this can be an ongoing family farm. So that's it.
You guys can hang on. We're gonna have some questions for you.
So close the public hearing.
Are you guys gonna use any kind of a platform, VRBO, Airbnb, anything like that to rent, or what are you thinking?
We
John?
probably
I
will
think that we
eventually,
will
yeah.
for the logistics of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Some
people-
they have
contractual
insurance
contracts.
policies, and
Yeah.
you have to pay you pay tourist tax, and
Mhm.
they make those kinds of arrangements for you, so it's not quite as
Well, I mean,
maze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna clear out? I know you cut down trees, but you're gonna clear out the pond there a little bit.
inside of the pond there from the corner.
Because I
top
walked
corner.
down to the pond to see what was down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the inside of the corner of the pond to the bottom corner of the pond on the inside swoop there, that will all be cleaned
Oh, the
out.
whole thing?
The inside, we're gonna leave the outside, the outside L on the back side
Okay.
for privacy on,
Yeah, sure.
on the east. Here we go.
Okay.
And then all that, there it goes again. That will be kid friendly, as in the slope of the pond will be tapered up.
Okay.
And there'll be a pier there for people to walk on with the proper, whatever needs to be done. Throwing devices for people that possibly fall in, but everything is gonna be, the pond on the north side where the whoop in the inside of the pond there, all that there is, we left that shallow for a wildlife pond. So that in there is less than 5 feet deep. The other side on the bottom side of the pond, that is considerably deeper. So there'll be life saving circles, or, I'm not a lake person, but yeah. So there'll be things,
Tossables.
yeah,
Something like that,
tossables for that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Do you plan to parcel off the green spot like the?
no, yeah, we're not. We only parceled off enough for William Troyer to build his house on. As far as that goes, they actually were after that piece of parcel for years, and my dad always told them no, you know, and then they were bold enough, and the Amish community is. It doesn't take them very long to ask for something after someone passes because that's just the way they are.
Mhm.
You know, and it's happened, and I've talked to other people that they're not afraid to, and then I thought, all right, you know, we will. And we had already thought about all this. We didn't really think it was going to take effect and do anything with it until we seen the hay crop this year. And we're like, this is not beneficial. I mean, that 3 acres, it made 4 round bales the first cutting, and the second and third cutting made 11 together. So we had 15 round bales. If you sell them for $75 a piece, you're looking at less than $1,000, you know, and as like the daughter said, she's going to be a part of this, and we're a part of this. And as you know, as farmers, several on the board, you know, if you make money this year, you're going to be lucky. So we're trying to diversify a little bit to help the family farms stay, you know, fluent with financially.
So talk through a little bit of what you're gonna do as far as to be taking care of this. Like-
Well, each individual cabin will have its own little area there with its landscape properly and a little bit of lawn there. The road itself will be going through there. Everything will be so it can be mowed next to, or the road will be level with the the grass, so you can mow right over everything. And we'll probably end up actually having a lawn service come in and do that because I don't have enough time to mow lawn anyways. And with everything else going on, there's enough things to do without having to mow lawn.
So who's gonna take care of cleaning it when people?
I have
come and go?
the girls that are going to be a part of this, and if
It's very much a family effort. We have 6 kids and so, and they're mostly grown. But
Is there gonna
I guess
be
it's 14,
minimum
or
stays?
14, so we have plenty of help to do that. And
Minimum stays, one
what's
night?
that? Minimum stays 1 to 2 nights at the minimum. Usually, probably it's going to be actually minimum stay would barely be 2 nights, so it's not a, you know, I mean, occasional maybe a 1 night stay if someone's traveling through and they want to stop and they're going to Nebraska and they've seen us on, you know, something of that nature, of a quick stay of, instead of renting a hotel, and you know, you're getting the benefit of the country's atmosphere. And
One of the things that we sometimes do in a situation like this is put something in place for parking, so that, yeah. So if I rent a cabin, and I light up a bonfire and I invite 15 people over to hang out around the bonfire.
not available.
So how do you,
That'll be right in the contract.
Okay. Maximum of 2 cars or something like that?
2 cars.
each
You know,
site will
each
have
site's-
2 spots to park.
Okay.
And that's it.
And, you know, the cabin's only going to sleep, you know, maybe 5 or 6 at the most.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and
The
we're
sleeping
not
part,
looking for, you know,
yeah.
we're not looking for that. And
Our price point too is not going to appeal to people just looking for a place to party.
Gotcha.
That's not the market that we're trying to try.
Okay.
The layout of this parcel is on 3 acres,
roughly,
roughly 3 acres.
Yeah.
That square that encompasses the pond up to the road.
yep.
And that's your initial business plan to keep.
It won't go
everything
it
within-
won't go any more than that, because if we go above 9, they consider it to be a campground, and I'm not into that.
Okay.
I don't want any part of it.
Is that by the county standards?
That's
or-
state.
That's state standards.
That's state standards. So 9 is the most that can go on that piece of property, and I'm not even sure we're gonna stick 9 on there. You know, if you go for, you know, we do 9 now, say 9 now, then I don't have to come in and get another
Yeah.
variance to, as, just like the hog barn, when we did hog barn, we did it for 2. We put 1 up and that's enough.
It'll be a gradual process too. We're not throwing 9 up
No,
right away. It's gonna have to be a process.
it'll be
because
1 or
financially-
2 the first year or 2, and then we'll add
Add
1,
as we
add
can.
1, and then add 1 by that, and then the main structure and the road and everything will be in there, the well will be in there, septic will be in there, and then we'll just, every year or 2, we'll add another one, gradually, and then the rest of it will still be farmed until that takes place. And it'll stay hay, because I'm not gonna row crop anything of like that. And it may just end up getting mowed too, bush hog down, and, because it doesn't, it doesn't revenue that much.
Robbie, this question is a little bit more for you, but is this a parent parcel?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm asking is how hard would it be to encompass this?
So
Huh?
Wouldn't be
this
hard.
is an
to
A2
zone.
Oh.
piece of ground.
Okay.
so
Yeah.
It's not a parent parcel issue. So they could replat. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
They could take this 3-acre parcel, they could replat it so it'd be its own parcel.
Yeah,
Or the campground.
Yeah.
or
So it's all
Short-term rental.
community.
It's not a campground.
oh, yeah.
As far as the noise ordinance, we hear twin mills at our place. We're 3/4, almost a mile away. Everybody around there hears twin mills.
So
And that's
also-
only a couple a couple weekends a year that they have the big parties over there, and we're not looking for that. And there'll be in the contract that we're gonna have, there'll be either a fine, and if they don't respect the fine, then there'll be a note in there that they get, they can be evicted, removed from the property.
And our residence is only a mile down the road from this. It's not that we're setting this far away from our own personal residence. It's just on the family farm. But we live right down the road.
Any other comments, questions?
This is kind of an interesting concept. I know we have at least one of these in the county already. It's in,
Over in Shipsy,
over in Shipshe. We saw that a couple years ago. Because of the vicinity to the town of Shipshe, it was rezoned to be in a business kind of zoning. However, this being out in the middle of essentially nowhere, I don't think a rezone would be appropriate for this property. However, I do see it a little bit as a cross between a campground, I say that lightly, and a hotel. So it is an interesting concept, and I would like to make a condition that if this variance passes, that it does become no bigger than
It
what it
can't.
is. And I understand that
and
you say it can't, so
It can't
I don't
without
think there's a problem of
No.
putting a condition on that. With that being said, I make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second that this is the largest it can be. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Condition carries.
This is A2, right, Robbie?
Mhm.
Okay. We encourage businesses in A2 also, is that correct?
Part of the comprehensive.
From the
plan.
comprehensive plan, yes.
A2 is considered rural and industrial business.
Yeah, okay.
This will go through site plan review.
You guys ready for a vote?
Yep.
Let's vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Len,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Tyler,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Glenn,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
The need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved. David,
Yes.
Glenn,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought. Nick,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
The approval does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Len,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and Jerry.
Yes.
Your petition's been approved. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Jerry and Rosetta Miller. We're in Clay Township, section 24, Township 37 North, range 9 East, it's zone A2. It's located south of 810 West, 50 North LaGrange. It's a land use variance for a private recreational facility use center in the A2 zoning district. This is the initial plan. It sits right in here, that's the initial plan. Since the initial plan was turned in, we received an alternate plan, which just brings it over onto 100 West, as you can see here. But the initial plan is this one. Representative, can you name and address, please?
Zach Estes, 6565 East, 200 South, LaGrange, representing TE Incorporated, 8620 Bluffton Road, Fort Wayne. Daniel had presented an idea for a community building for the youth. His intent was a place for the children to come and play softball, volleyball, basketball, clean fun. And then he also had intended to use this for events. He currently does for example, the fish fry for the local fire department. He currently does that at his business at DNL Metals, and he would think about moving that out here, as well as hosting other events. That's really all I got.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Do we have anybody that wants to remonstrate against this petition tonight?
I've got quite a few. Who am I going to go first? Okay.
You can drive a seat.
I'm Dave Merrifield. I live at 600 West, 050 North LaGrange. And I'd like to just address some of the issues that petitioner put on his request. First one of the questions answered, he said he wants to have a youth center for activities for softball, volleyball, and basketball. I don't think anybody here probably has any issues with wanting to have stuff for our kids to do, especially good, clean fun for our kids to do. I think those are great ideas. But the second question was, how will the land use variance not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community? And the petitioner answered that it would be a meeting place for youth together and also a place for community functions. But he really didn't address the issues. First of all, from a health standpoint, there's going to be hundreds of kids right beside our houses. Sleep is pretty important to me. I'm an early bird. I get to sleep early, get up early. It's going to be pretty tough when you've got hundreds of kids. And one of the last petitioners here said they live about 3/4 to a mile from Twin Mills and hear them. And I don't see anywhere near the crowds of kids and stuff at Twin Mills that we're going to have right in our front yards. Also, from a health standpoint, there really isn't anything that I've seen as far as how they're going to be handling trash for hundreds, possibly thousands of people there, depending on what the community functions are. I mean, are they going to have barrels? Are they going to have dumpsters? Since this is only in the summertime, you know, if you've got barrels or you've got dumpsters, I mean, I know coons can get in just about anything they want, rats, rodents, potential disease from that hadn't been addressed. And then sanitation, I don't know what kind of sanitary facilities, what kind of restroom facilities they're going to have here that's going to handle hundreds of people. The town sewer is not available at this point because there's two lift stations, the Culp lift station and the George Hunter lift station, both of which I've been told are at or basically over capacity. So you'd have to have a substantial upgrade to those. Is the petitioner willing to do that? And if not, I built my home in 2008, and at that time, I was too far away to make it economically feasible to any way to attach to the town system. And I was told that I could not have a leach field out there. And I was required to put in a constructed wetland, just like what the sewer districts use. And there's nothing showing where anything like that would go on the plans. And that would have to be a pretty substantial sized facility if you've got hundreds of people to handle the sewage and the waste. Also, from a safety standpoint, we got a busy road right now. And the only people that come close to driving the speed limit is the people that live there. Everybody else is motoring down through there pretty good. And in this initial site plan, the entrance from where the parking is right over the crest of the hill. And I can't imagine any place really any less safe than that, because this facility, as they talked about, would be used only in the summer during daylight hours, but it's light out until 10 o'clock at night. And if everybody's not packing up, they're not leaving, you've got hundreds of kids in buggies and bikes pulling out onto that road after dark with people speeding, coming right up over that hill, and there they are in the road. Just not a safe situation. And as far as the general welfare of the community, not only the increase in the traffic on the road, we've got all the noise, and we've got a decrease in our wildlife out there. I planted a lot of wildflowers and prairie grass out there to promote the wildlife. We have a lot of animals out there, and I and our neighbors like it. And I would like to read a letter from the petitioner. This is dated May 14th, 2022. Dear adjacent landowners, and this was sent by the petitioner to all of the landowners adjoining the property. Good morning and greetings in Jesus' holy name. A few lines to let you know the plans for the property next to yours that we purchased from Bob Lambright a year ago. We have leased for the next 5 years from 2022 to 2026 hunting and trapping rights to a local professional wildlife enthusiast. They will respect your property and rights, and we ask a return favor, please. The property will be posted. Current surveillance monitored cameras show excessive human and pet trafficking in some areas. For everyone's safety, we ask that you refrain from this. P.S. You will see multiple food plots, cover grasses, and trees being planted in the future. So please, no trespassing on this property, be it mushroom, golf balls, or antler shed hunting. Their main focus will be promoting white-tailed deer and wild turkey habitats, but they have other rights as well. Thanks for your understanding, Jerry and Rosetta Miller. So when I first met Mr. Miller, he told me that he just wanted the land to farm hay. Then The next year, he's renting it out to a professional hunter. Then, just about a year ago, I spoke to a gentleman that was clearing a large chunk of the field, said that he was leasing the land to plant hay, I believe, from the professional hunter that has the lease through the end of next year. And now we've got a private recreation area being put on the property. So that's 4 different things in 4 years. There doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency here. And we were told basically not to set foot on the property because they wanted to promote wildlife. And it certainly worked to that end. I mean, it's great out there. We've got deer, we've got rabbits, we've got turkey, we've got all kinds of animals, and it's great. And now he wants to ruin what he tells us to, that he's trying to develop, driving all that away. How will the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included not be affected in a substantially adverse manner? And the petitioner answered, it will be used during daylight hours during the summer. As mentioned previously, the use of the adjacent property will be negatively affected by the loss of our wildlife. All the noise and increased values and home prices will decrease dramatically. You couldn't pay me enough to live to a house that would be right across or right next to that with hundreds of kids out there all day long in the summer. Fourth, how does the need for the variance arise from a condition that is peculiar to the property? The petitioner answered, zoning does not allow for private recreational facility. Note that this is a private recreational facility, not public. In other words, the local neighbors aren't welcome. Refer back to Mr. Miller's letter of 2022. They will respect your property and rights, and we ask a return favor, please. The property will be posted. He asked us to stay off his property and rights, and he will respect ours. He doesn't seem to have any concerns for our rights and the adverse consequences the enjoyment of our property will have, that his property will adversely affect. Question 5, how will the strict enforcement of the terms of the zoning ordinance constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought? Petitioner answered, location of the parcel makes it ideal for this community. For all the reasons I've mentioned previously, I can't think of a less ideal space. We all get all the adverse consequences of having this here, but we don't get any of the benefits because we are prohibited from this private recreational facility. I think we all would agree that providing a place for our youth to gather and enjoy wholesome activities is a noble cause. And I'd like to offer some potential ideal spots. Recently, the town of Shipshewana partnered with the local park and a private nonprofit, and they took their local ball diamonds. They've got AstroTurf, they put in fences, they got lights, they paved the parking, they've got a big barn they put up for batting cages and stuff. And we have this here. With the advent of Spruer Park and the diamonds out there, we've got the LaGrange Town Park. It's got a ball diamond, basketball courts hardly being utilized. Maybe a partnership could be worked with the town. Same out at the 4-H fair ball diamond, not being used at all. Also, Parkside Elementary has a ball diamond and a lot of facility out there, a lot of space out there that's not being utilized. Maybe they would even, the school would even sell it to them and work a partnership. Also, there is just west of the site, just north of the site, and just south of the site, only about a mile, several Amish schools that already have ball diamonds. Maybe they can expand those facilities and work with that and enhance those areas. And the final thing is the petitioner also has 10 acres on North 300 West, which would be out in the community away from all of the housing, the concentrated housing that we have that could be possibly utilized for that. And I imagine a lot of his neighbors would be welcome to use the facility not excluded from it like we are. How will the approval of the variance not interfere substantially with the LaGrange County Comprehensive Plan? Petitioner answered the plan will encourage community investment. Our comprehensive plan is titled LaGrange County Together, Our Voice, Our Vision, Our Future. According to the plan, our area has a classified land use and character type of rural living and homestead agriculture. Rural living has a primary use of single-family, small and large lot residential. And that's basically what it is around there, a lot of small residential homes. This proposed plot is homestead agricultural, primary use is single-family, large lot residential and agricultural. I wasn't able to locate anywhere in the plan that encourages a development for the benefit of just half the children in the county to the exclusion of the other half. And I certainly hope that's not our plan. And finally, number 7, additional information that you wish to provide the board regarding the details of your proposed request. Petitioner says, trying to give the youth a place to gather for clean fun. And there's just a few things I wish he also would have provided to the board and us is he's got a building for community functions. He mentioned one, the fish fry, but I mean, will it be weddings? Is there going to be fees charged for it? How many people are going to be there? I mean, weddings can be 1,500, 2,000 people. So what exactly are those community functions? They proposed a 100 by 170 building, and I'm not sure why that's needed if they're just having softball, volleyball, and basketball. I don't know what's going on in the building or why they need the building, especially since it's only during summer hours, daylight summer hours. Why do we need this big building if it's only going to be used in the summer and sitting empty 9 months a year? You know, and how tall is it going to be? Is it going to block our, I mean, my neighbor built, if they're putting some basketball and stuff inside, that takes a pretty tall building to do something like that. I don't know what the plans for it is. And is there going to be kitchens? Are there going to be toilet facilities in there? If so, then how are they going to power it? You know, we're going to have a big generator sitting out back that we're going to have to hear too. I don't know. How many bikes or buggies can the parking area accommodate? You know, there can be, I mean, I've seen in a lot of the 200 West, they have a couple ball diamonds and volleyball courts, and there can be hundreds of kids out there when you go by. So that's a lot of. The other question is on drainage. There's several wetlands, and I think in the alternate is down on 100 West. There's 2 wetlands down there, and there's been a lot of problems already at the house at the very north with water in the basement. So I don't see where that would be a better alternative or anything worse. And then another question is who's going to be supervising all these kids and who has the liability for any problems that arise from having all that there. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak. Like I say, I think it's a great idea. I think I've given him some options that would be more ideal, but I just don't think that the petitioners met any of the requirements for changing the variance and having a facility like this located in our residential community.
Anybody else want to demonstrate against this petition? Just make sure it's going to be different information because we have a total of 15 minutes and I think we've probably surpassed that.
Yeah, Lori Trost, 0845
Hey, Dave.
West, 050 North, LaGrange, Indiana. I guess I would just like to add to what he said. A lot of his, and I was checking off, when I first got the letter, I was like, oh no, not my backyard, not my front yard, because I do live straight across. And I guess what I'd like to add to that, it is a blind hill, pulling out there, you look left, you look right, you look left, you look right, you think you're done, and somebody has zoomed over. So I know personally the danger that it can have having that entranceway. Plus, it is right across from our area. I want to add the amount of trash. There isn't a recreational facility there, but going by the amount of trash that is thrown into our yards, the beer cans, the pop cans, up and down the road. I've lived out in that area pretty much all my life. The trash, the noise that can happen. I'm afraid who is going to monitor. So mine would be a safety. If, you get a bunch of kids out there and there's nobody, no adults that are there to monitor, it could really turn into a problem. And lastly, if you allow this variance with this, what more is going to be added later? Have you opened a Pandora's box of, oh, well, you've allowed this, so now we'll do this, and now we'll do this. And as somebody who lives out there, who tries to follow the laws when we added onto our house, when we did our things, we got our building permits and tried to follow along with the laws of what we did. I know this is side, but behind us is a recreational camping area. I know there are 2 cabins back there. My daughter says there's 3. I don't know. And dogs. So between the barking and what happens there, if we add this to the other side of the property, I think you've really taken away from the quietness of the neighborhood. We're not a part of the town because we're just far enough out that it's rural, and we pretty much are quiet. And I guess that's what I'd like to say, that please, I don't want to stand in the way of progress, but I just don't think this is the progress that we need. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else want to remonstrate?
Hi, I'm Dawn Cowley. I live on 770 West, 50 North. We're just going to be 2 properties from the proposed, what is it called? Recreation, yeah. The only thing that I want to say is my husband did some legwork, talked to some realtors, because our concern, a lot of concerns, but one of our concerns was, what is this going to do to the value of our property? And the thing that was most alarming to us was they said that it would bring the value down if unkept. So if the person does not take care of the property and the surroundings, it will bring the value of our home down. If you drive by that area, he does not take care of it as it is right now. When Bob Lambright owned it, my husband and I were the first people that wore Bob down, and he sold us an acre of land. He did not want to, but boy, I visit him every single week. He always took pretty good care of that. He had bush hogs come in, and he always made sure that it looked pretty decent. It was very appealing. And he did that for a really long time. Now, when you drive by, it looks like a jungle. It's overgrown. He doesn't take care of it. What attaches to Dave and Mary's property is very overgrown. What comes around our property, how is that going to change when he's got more stuff? I don't see that happening. And just from experience, too, I don't see it happening. The Amish, I went around and talked to people because I wanted their viewpoints. The Amish in that area are not happy with it, but they will not come to these meetings and speak against Amish. But they will tell us that they are not happy. They don't want it there. And you can go and talk to them as well. They don't want it there. So I guess I'm speaking for them. There is also a house, what Lori said, there's a house across the road. He doesn't butt up to my home at all, but the people on that side of the street are all very angry about that. There's some things that have transpired that we've not seen any legal paperwork to or anything. We didn't get a letter asking about that. And our nice, quiet neighborhood that we moved into 21 years ago has drastically changed. And we know change happens. There's new homes. We've got a whole bunch of new properties and wonderful neighbors, and we have enjoyed that quiet. But when you have somebody sending you a letter stating that there's going to be a hunter, a professional hunter in your backyard with no idea of who that hunter is he a criminal? Does he have a record? What kind of guns is he going to use? That's what we had to live with already, with fear. I have grandchildren and a lot of kids in that neighborhood. And one given weekend, there can be up to 60 kids in that neighborhood. That's how many families are there with children and grandchildren. And this guy's got somebody hunting back there, no knowledge of who this person is, never even got a name. And these are the different things that this gentleman is doing to our neighborhood, our nice, quiet, peaceful blessing that we've been giving. He is doing this to us.
One more.
I'm trying to get up there for the last three.
Thank you. Hey, I was the second person in this room.
Hey, address the board.
And all these people talking before me.
Address the board.
All right. My name is Jay Smith, 0955 West, 050 North. I have the corner lot and the next lot on that piece of property. I'm looking across that. My only other concern I want to add to what they've talked about years ago, and I lived at this house in 60 years, more than you guys are probably lived by. Anyway, I lived there, and one of those years, and I can't tell you what it was, a group of guys took that land, and they came to this to get a variance on that property to build homes. But guess what? You guys turned them down and said, that land is not fit to build on. I'm done.
Actually, he's good.
Anybody else want to remonstrate that has any different information? I guess we'll, let's see. The petitioner has 5 minutes to answer any concerns.
I guess as far as the environmental portion of it, this is really just a preliminary site plan. We haven't done any engineering work. Daniel wants to cut out 14 acres out of the main parcel for this. So I didn't even pay attention to the fact that the driveway fell at the top of those contours, but everything can be moved around. There's nothing set in stone at this point. Septic field, I don't know for sure. Like I said, we haven't done any field work yet to check into the existing sanitary to the east. Maybe a force main is possible. If not, a septic with 14 acres, there should be substantial area for septic field. The wetlands, we show a proposed pond there on the alternate. If there's flooding issues, I was unaware of that, but like I said, I haven't done any field work yet. If it becomes necessary, we can always pump that. There was an inlet, looking on Google, at the southeast corner of the intersection there at 50 and 100. I'm not sure what size that is and if it can take waters from that pond. As far as future expansion goes, I think this was just really a preliminary assessment on whether it could be approved or not. But I had talked with Daniel about getting putting together a future site plan of everything that he intended to do with this property. And then as far as the upkeep goes, I haven't seen too many Amish school communities and stuff that are overgrown. I don't know. I can't testify for Daniel on what he's going to do with the property. And I wish he was here today. So
You good?
that's all I got.
Close the public hearing. Okay, I guess, is Daniel wanting to purchase this
Yeah.
from Jerry?
Yeah, he's planning on splitting off 14 acres.
So purchasing.
Yep.
And it'll be on the 100-050 corner there.
Yes. Yeah. If you can zoom out on the site plan, you can actually see that. Maybe.
Gotcha.
So there was a brief list of possible activities and events. Can you kind of give us the full list that you know of to the board? There was a fish fry mentioned. What are some of the other?
I would assume weddings, family get-togethers and things like that.
And this would not be available for rent from public?
I do not know that.
You don't know? Okay.
No, I don't have that information.
This is why it's important for the
Yeah,
petitioner
I
to be
know.
here. Well, property owner's not here either.
No, he is.
He is. I mean, he probably doesn't know what Daniel's full list of Daniels.
Daniel.
Do
Well, it
you
wouldn't
know?
make sense.
Oh, we could put it on 250 south of 20, where where he used to have his business.
Well, I'm a little confused because in the variance, it says private recreational center, and then in parentheses it says youth center. And then on the contrary, we're talking about renting it out for weddings and fish fries and other business oriented stuff. So is it a rec center for the youth, or is it a rental center for? I'm just trying to figure out
Right.
what we're looking at here.
So I had Daniel email me and he said that it was going to be for the youth, but he did have the intention of using it for events.
So it is a youth/event center?
Yes.
But it also said summertime, daylight hours in the summertime only, because that's what its petition says.
That's the first I've heard of it.
That's what its petition says.
I do know, was it Clay? LaGrange Fire Department does have their stuff out there. And he just said moving it to this event center, to this center, which I think they have 400 to 500 people at those.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
There's a lot of unknown here.
This is the.
Robbie, would this have to come for site plan?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So it's still.
I can see the ball diamond as a youth center and such. As far as the 100 and how big's that building?
100 by 170.
As far as the size of the building, it looks like more of an event center, and I think something like this would be more reserved for a business zone, especially this close to town, where we have an opportunity to have it in a business zone. This is to the south. This is there are several businesses that I believe are miszoned at the moment. We're working on that with our new ordinance. I think it's pretty important that as we move forward, especially in the variance process, that we do our best to get land rezoned for its proper use, to use as little variances as possible. I would be more willing to take a look at this if this land was zoned properly. As it is now, I don't think a variance for possibly an event center of this size being put on an A2 zone would be appropriate.
You guys have anything else you want to ask or?
I think it's a residential zone, should say residential zone. I don't think an event center is a residential use in this location.
My thing is, it looks intentional, smacked against these homes, either both on both places. I mean, that's what was that, 14, 16 off the property line, 14?
Yeah, it's 14 feet off the property line. Why isn't that part of the variance?
Because this is a concept plan.
Okay, so he can move it.
Conceptual.
Okay, all conceptual.
It would
Okay.
have to be the 25 feet.
It would have to be 25 feet, yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't think there's any doubt that it would be, if you got 170 feet and you take 10 foot per parking spot, that's 17 parking spots times 2 is 34. Ain't no way it's gonna park enough cars.
Cars,
So the
buggies,
parking
bikes.
lot's gonna be a lot bigger.
Yeah. Let's manure. Take care of that parking lot.
Mhm. Definitely gonna have to have a buggy area.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready?
We are. Where I am.
Tyler?
I'm ready.
Yep. Let's have a vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Jerry?
No.
Tyler?
No.
Nick?
No.
David?
No.
Lynn?
No.
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Lynn?
No.
David?
No.
Nick?
No.
Tyler?
No.
Jerry?
No.
The need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved. David?
No.
Lynn?
No.
Nick?
No.
Jerry?
Yes.
Tyler?
No.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought. Tyler?
No.
Jerry?
No.
Lynn?
No.
David?
No.
Nick?
No.
The approval does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Lynn?
No.
Tyler?
No.
Nick?
No.
David?
No.
And Jerry?
No.
Your petition's failed on all 5 points. Thanks for coming in.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Robbie, was that in a flood area? Like
Oh God, don't fall.
wetlands? How big a portion of it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Jay in a while.
What?
I haven't seen Jay in a while.
Yeah. He was my football coach. I don't.
How big an area was it?
I'm fine. How
Does
are
it
you?
show how big an area it was?
So he wanted to purchase 14 acres like that.
Right.
That's not it.
Yeah. Yeah, but how much was in wetland? Does it show?
And you can click on wetlands and see there's several different small spots of it.
Yeah.
But they're on 100, it was found. We're gonna go ahead and continue our meeting. The next one is Logo USA Murphy Grant. We're in Lima Township, section 26, township 38 north, range 9 east. It's zoned L1. It's located at 5880 north, 170 west house. A conditional use variance for a short-term rental in the L1 zoning district. Here's the parcel. Is there a representative? No representative?
Wow.
I said we knew he wouldn't show up.
Really? There's nobody here? You gotta be kidding me.
Take a vote? No.
Can we take a vote? What's the deal on that? Table it?
Sorry, might have to come another time.
Yeah.
I think.
They don't show up second.
Yes.
It'd be under old business.
You'd be under old business, yes, that's correct.
I make a motion that we postpone it.
Probably dismissed at that point.
Yeah, we have to give him a chance.
Some are early.
So since we have no representative here,
Motion to
table.
table.
Second. We have a motion and second to table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
To the next available, is it not next month? Is it November?
it's October full as of today.
I'll just say next available, and he'll get what he gets.
So we're gonna,
We will re-notify. When we hear that fee again, we'll re-notify, they won't know.
for the motion to table, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign, condition carries, or table, whatever.
You have a question, miss?
I'm the back lot property here, Mary Justin, 5850 North, 175 West. So if that person doesn't show up, they live in California, as I understand it, then we have no recourse whatsoever. If he just doesn't show, we're screwed.
What are you saying?
Well, if he doesn't come here to present his side of it,
Then
do
he
we
won't
have
get
any
a, he won't
recourse?
get a variance.
We just tabled it, so it's,
If he doesn't show up.
If he
We're-
doesn't
we're
show
not
up the
gonna-
next time, we will dismiss it and it will be dismissed. Yes, it'll be
So
gone.
that's the end of it.
Yes,
If he
It
doesn't
can't-
show up.
for a year.
I don't know if he knows it now.
He's already renting the property out.
Uh-huh.
So we would have to
So-
send him a cease and desist.
Yeah, we would have to, yes. Would have to, we'd have to red tag him and he'd have fines. And then if he had continued to operate, there would be potential legal action and all those kind of things. Court stuff.
I presume it was red tagged and that's how he got here.
Well, we just, he has applied, he has the right to apply, and so we are dealing with it. Pardon?
When did he apply? He's been renting it for a number of.
When we just started getting complaints is when we looked into it. We don't know that they're renting them otherwise,
Yeah, we do not know.
so it's not.
We can't inspect every property.
Yeah.
This is our staff.
Yeah, this is their staff.
So this is, will be on record that he didn't show up.
Correct,
Oh, yeah.
There's this much.
correct.
As it sits,
We
it'll be
don't
on the
care.
November.
Actually, it's on YouTube right now because we're being taped. It's on YouTube right now because we're being taped. So,
And the October meeting's full, so it'll be heard in November. Unless he withdraws it or whatever.
yeah, he could withdraw.
Yep. You will be notified.
We have bylaws in this set of houses that we all purchased.
Okay.
Is it true that you won't consider bylaws of that place at all when it says no businesses to
That's a
be?
private nuisance issue. You guys can file your lawsuit against him, like,
Okay, so it's got nothing to do with this at all.
that's private nuisance. It has to be enforced by the other owners within the subdivision. You're not enforcing of those rules.
How do we enforce that?
File a lawsuit.
So I have no other business.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion.
We have motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I thought Nick made the motion.
Okay.
Motion?
I made the motion. He asked for a motion.
Okay.
There we go. However you want to write it down.
This guy, the rep wasn't even gonna show up tonight.
No,
There's no way of knowing that. There's no